Hi everybody, and welcome to the video introduction for our oral and community history class. The technical title of this class is HIST 4000, Special Topics in American History, Oral and Community History. I'm your professor, I'm your instructor, Dr. Hector Montford, and I'll be the person leading you through this class over the summer for the next several weeks as we talk about oral history and community history, what it is, and how to do it, and so on and so forth. And what this video here is for is to kind of introduce you guys to the class, to give you an overview of what we're going to be doing, and to kind of tell you how the class is going to be set up. So it shouldn't take us too long to get through this. I'm not going to give you like a 15-minute video, but I want to give you some of the highlights of this class before we begin. So real fast, because we're going to talk more about this in the weeks to come, but the idea, the term oral history may be unfamiliar to you guys. So I kind of want to explain real fast what oral histories are. Basically what an oral history is, or what an oral historian does, is that they go out and they find people and they record the histories, the experiences of those people. We sit down with video cameras, with microphones, with audio recorders, and basically we record their histories. And we're interested in everyone's history. Like normally history is kind of, seen as this thing where we care mostly about the people who have done something significant, important, like politicians and generals and things like that. What oral historians really want to do, though, is find out what regular people were doing during this time period. Because the idea is that their story is just as valuable and just as useful to us as historians, as researchers, as the story of a president or a general or someone like that. And so our job is to go out and sometimes unearth these unknown, hidden histories, and we record them, and we make them available for other researchers. So really what we're doing is we're unearthing information and histories and stories that aren't normally told. That's what an oral history is. That's what an oral historian does. Maybe you, were part of a battle somewhere. You were maybe a soldier, like a private or a corporal. And while we may know what the generals are thinking during that battle, we don't necessarily know what the privates and the corporals and the common, everyday people were thinking. So the goal is to get the stories of those people as well. And so that's what an oral historian does, what an oral history is. It's going out there and finding these kind of underrepresented, sometimes hidden communities and people and bringing their story to light. And that's what makes this class a little bit different than what you're normally used to. Normally, you're used to reading about those generals and those presidents and those politicians in a history class at this level. But in this class, we're not going to talk about history. Not really, anyway. We're not going to talk about people necessarily. Instead, what we're going to talk about in this class is how to conduct oral histories and talk about why they're important. In this class, you're not going to be learning theory. In this class, you're not going to be learning dates and names. In this class, you're actually going to be learning things that are applicable to doing something in the real world. You're going to be learning how to conduct oral histories. You're not just going to be memorizing dates and names. You're going to be out there recording people's histories. This class is more about doing history than learning history. And so that's important to remember here. You guys are going to be doing stuff in this class, not just kind of like passively learning stuff. You're going to be actively out there creating history, creating records for other people to use in the future by conducting your own oral histories. And we're going to talk more about that later, but keep that in mind. This is not a traditional history class where you sit down and just receive information. This is going to be you guys actually conducting history, performing actual historical assignments that are going to be useful in the future.